Hello, Sparks! How about it, Nevada? Wow. Look at you all. Man. It is so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you. I love you too, ma'am. Thank you for coming out and standing in line. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank you for something else. Hey, Nevada. Thank you for those electoral votes, and thank you for making Mitt Romney the next president of the United States. We've got a job to do, friends. And you know what? We got a lot of people who need jobs. And we've got a big choice ahead of us. The question is, are we going to stick with 4 more years of the same path? No. Are we going to have a country in debt, in doubt, in decline? Or are we going to do what we need to do to get people back to work, to fix the mess in Washington, and to get this country back on the right track? We want to earn your support. We want to deserve victory. Here's the problem. President Obama and too many politicians like him in Washington, they are more worried about their next election than they are worried about the next generation. We need leadership. You've got Mark Amodei here. That man is a great leader. Send him back so he can help us fix the mess in Washington. We have entrepreneurs in this country that built this country. And by the way, John Phillips, we're here at your business. You know what? You built this business. Government doesn't get the credit for that. You know, the president gave a big speech last night. And, well, just hear me out. Look, President Obama is not a bad guy. No. President Obama is not a bad guy. He's good at giving great speeches. He's just really bad at creating jobs. Here's the problem. When you think that the road to success and prosperity is more borrowing, more spending, more taxing, more regulating, a government-centered society with a government-run economy, these are the kinds of results we get. And if we want the next 4 years to be any different than the last 4 years, we need a new president. Now, 4 years ago, President Obama said, if you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone that people should run from. Guess what? That is exactly what he is doing today. And so let's take a look at where we are. We got some pretty disappointing news just today. You know, we learned today for that every person that got a job, nearly 4 people stopped looking for a job. They gave up. We can't keep doing this. Our economy needs to create just 150,000 jobs every month just to keep up with the growth of our population. Friends, this is not an economic recovery. This is nowhere close to an economic recovery. We need a new president, and we need a real economic recovery. The president gave us this big stimulus package right when he got elected. He said that if we pass stimulus, unemployment will never get above 8%. We just learned today that it's been above 8% for 43 months. In Nevada, it's 12%. Look at the foreclosure rate. Look at the unemployment rate. Look at the fact that over the last 4 years, family household income has gone down $4,000. Look at the fact that under the president's failed leadership, our credit our credit rating has been downgraded for the first time in our nation's history. Look at the fact that 23 million Americans, that's 23 million men and women, are struggling to find work in America today. Look at the fact that nearly 1 in 6 Americans today are living in poverty. It's the highest poverty rate we've had in a generation. It's not working, and we've got a plan to fix this. That's what the Romney-Ryan plan for a stronger middle class is all about. That's what getting back to work, that's what finding the ideas that work, that produce growth, that produce opportunity are all about. And let me tell you the 5 basic things that we're going to get to work right away when we win this race. Number 1, in this state and across this country, we have lots of energy and lots of minerals. Let's use that energy and create jobs. Coal, gas, electric, renewables, Keystone Pipeline. We can create lots of jobs and lower the price of our gas, lower the diesel costs, lower home heating prices. Number 2, there are a lot of Americans who are in between work. I've got a lot of buddies I grew up with who lost their job at the big factory we had in our hometown. They're in their 40s or they're in their 50s, and they're in between. You need to have skills. You need to have an education system so people who are stuck in a rut can get back to school, get a new trade, and get back onto a path to prosperity so they can pull themselves up and reach that horizon they're shooting for. That's critical. Number 3, we need to make more things in America. We need to grow more things in America. We need to sell them overseas. And we need to make sure that countries, if they cheat, we got to hold them to account. And you know what else we got to do? This is something that's very near and dear to my heart, something I've been working on a long time. It's not that complicated. We have got to stop spending money we don't have. This idea of printing and borrowing is getting out of control. It is a huge cloud over our economy. President Obama gave us 4 budgets, trillion-dollar deficits, as far as the eye can see. No balanced budget. $4 trillion deficits. No proposal to balance it. The United States Senate. Hey, you guys heard of this guy named Reid in the Senate? So I take it as a yes. They haven't bothered to pass a budget in 3 years. We've got this law that says every year, Congress, by April 15th, April 15th is tax day for every American. It's budget day for Congress. They've ignored it for 3 years. Friends, this is not governing. This is kicking the can. This is blaming other people. This is not responsibility. This is not leadership. We have got to get this budget under control, or else we will wind up just like Europe. If you practice European economics, you'll get European results. The last thing, guess what? Most of our jobs, they come from businesses like this. They come from successful small businesses. We need to champion small businesses. And you know what? When people are successful in business, that's a good thing. That's nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good thing. Take a look at the Peterbilt Truck Parts and Equipment Company. They have 67 employees here. They've got 64 across the street at the International dealership. And this business pays their taxes as individuals. Here's what that means. President Obama is promising, he already passed the law, that come January, the tax rates on these kinds of successful businesses goes above 40%. This tax increase he's talking about, it pays for 8% of his proposed deficit spending. You know what? Overseas, which where I come from in Wisconsin means Lake Superior, countries like Canada are lowering the tax on their businesses. They lowered it to 15%, and Barack Obama wants it to go above 40%. You don't create jobs that way. You don't create prosperity that way. Guess what? This requires leadership. Our job is to give you a clear choice. Our job is to show you how we're going to get out of this ditch, how we're going to grow this economy and create opportunity and get out of this rut. Our job is to provide the leadership you deserve so that you have a very clear choice of two futures. Guess what? The moment and the man have met so well, and that is why I am so proud to stand with a man like Mitt Romney. This is a man who in everything in his life spells leadership. He's a decent man, a good man, an honest man, a man of faith, a man of integrity, of achievement. You remember, thank you, he likes you too. You remember the Olympics in 1999? Remember the waste, the corruption, the bloated spending? That sounds kind of familiar today, doesn't it? They called Mitt Romney. He dropped everything he was doing in Boston, moved to Salt Lake, spent 3 years turning it around, serving his country, duty, honor, and he turned the Olympics around and he made us proud. And look what he did in business. You know what? I think it's a good thing that we have a man who knows what it takes to be successful in business in the White House. He created nearly tens of thousands of jobs. He started businesses. He turned around struggling businesses with an astounding degree of success. He knows firsthand that if you have a small business, you actually did build that small business. And if you want to see a good track record of comparison, look at what he did when he was just governor of Massachusetts. When he was governor of Massachusetts, he made sure that they actually cut spending. He actually worked with Democrats, who were 87% of the legislature he served with, to balance the budget without raising taxes. Household incomes went up, unemployment went down, and the credit rating increased when he was governor of Massachusetts. That's basically the opposite that we've had over the last 4 years of Barack Obama. The president can give lots of speeches. He can say a lot of beautiful things, but he can't tell you that we are better off. And that's the difference. Look, this race is not just about the borrowing and the printing and the spending and the regulating and all that that has done to suppress economic growth, to deny opportunity, to get us where we are. This is not just about jobs or higher take-home pay. This is bigger than that. I think we all know this. This election is one of the most important elections we've had. It doesn't matter what generation you come from. This is the most important election in your generation. It really goes down to what kind of people do we want to be? What kind of country do we want to have? You know, we have these principles. They're timeless principles. They're founding principles. Liberty, freedom, free enterprise, self-determination, government by consent of the government, which means the government works for us and not the other way around. These principles matter. If we apply these principles, we fix the problem. If we reject them, we become Europe. So here's the story. This is more than just economics. It's identity of our country. And that's what's so unique about America. America is not just Nevada. It's not just Wisconsin. It's not just geography. America is an idea. It's the only country founded on an idea. That idea is very precious. Look, our founders said it better than anybody else can. And sometimes even presidents need reminding of this fact. Our rights come from nature and God and not from government. Our founders created it, and every generation since our veterans preserved it, and we thank them for that. You know, the other day in Charlotte, they try to remove God from their entire platform. They got caught and put it back in. And to quote a prominent journalist from Wisconsin, they were against God before they were for him. Look, this is what we are committing to you. We want to earn this election. We want to deserve victory so that we have the mandates and the moral authority to fix this mess. Here's what we're going to do. We are not going to duck these tough issues. We are not going to kick the can down the road. We're going to lead. We're going to get spending under control. We're going to get this economy growing, and we are going to take responsibility. We're not going to spend 4 years blaming other people for problems. We're going to fix these problems. And we are not going to try to transform this country into something it was never intended to be. We will not replace our founding principles. We will reapply our founding principles. Nevadans, you know this. You have a lot of power in your hands. Nevada, as you know, and you're used to this, you're a battleground state. What does that mean? That means you have a very special responsibility. Lots of people around the country are depending on you. You also have a great opportunity. Because if we meet this moment for what it is, we can get ourselves back on the right track. We can make America great again. We can get us back on the path to prosperity. We can get the growth we need, the opportunity we need. We can get the society of upward mobility. We can get the society where our kids inherit a debt-free nation and a promising future. This is up to you, Nevada. And here's what I simply want to say. We can do this. We can do this. It's not too late to turn things around. With your help, we will get this done. We will turn this thing around. We will get this done. And Nevadans, we need your help. Thank you very much, Reno. Thank you very much, Sparks. Thank you very much, Nevada. We appreciate it, everybody. God bless you all. Thanks for coming out.